Hello everyone to a new tutorial. How about this one? This is actually gonna be another tutorial that is a small tutorial question mark because the last one was not really that small, so yeah. No, I'm kidding. This one it's supposed to be at least a little shorter. So really I'm not gonna drag this out too long. I just want to thank you guys for actually watching the last video because it was actually pretty watched, considering that YouTube had apparently a problem. So the posted videos actually were not showing up, even if you searched for them, even if you actually were the creator of them and you entered on your own channel, you couldn't see it. So hopefully, I think actually YouTube fixed it at this point, but I did see, so I was able to actually search for it if I went in like playlist, but I could not see it otherwise. And I was able to see that it was actually doing pretty well somehow. I actually am not sure how, but that's pretty interesting. Anyway, again, thank you so much for the support. And actually, if you guys want more tools, and by the way, about the tool we made with the procedural fence, it's on its way. It's gonna actually show up probably tonight. I'm talking about a free version because I did. Hello guys, me from the future again, saving you from that retarded guy that actually said a mistake. So actually I hope you like the background here. That is actually just a picture that I opened. So yeah, this is actually what we created. By the way, there was a small step, well, not step, a change. This tutorial was actually going to be only one tutorial, but because I started doing a little more than I bargained for, this actually will be split in two parts. So basically part one will talk about only neon signs and stuff. The second part will concentrate about geometry nodes and also shaders a little bit and how you can add decals. So there's that for this part. And also there's the second thing I wanted to say, which is about the tool, the procedural fence. It's going to show up at the end of the week. I'm actually going to talk in the second part a little more about this, but basically I just added way more stuff than I intended, and actually I kind of changed also a little bit of geometry nodes itself. We still have the original, that's still there, but I added a new one that actually will do a new, even more interesting stuff. So I'm going to make a tutorial on that, or not a tutorial, but more like a small explanation about it. And yeah, so that's it with that. Go back to the video. Come on, just go. It's fine. Add a little bit more to it. So there is that. Also, I would like you guys to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, because I would like to actually grow this channel, and hopefully we can make it to 500 subscribers. And I do think we can actually make that. That's like the next big goal of this channel. So I hope you guys can help me get there. And for that to happen, I would appreciate if you guys would leave a like on this video, and also if you would leave a comment. I do answer to each and every one of your comments, and even if you have questions about the tutorials, I will actually try to help you guys out as much as I can. Also, another thing that I wish you guys would be able to do, if you can of course and want, is to share this video for other people to actually get to see it. And with this being said, let's actually get into the actual video. Alright, so this video is actually, you pretty much see it from the title, but we are going to create a neon sign. And yes, it's not like an original idea because it's been done before, but I do think it's a very good way to actually get into Blender, since hopefully you've been through the introduction part and through the geometry nodes and all that. And this is just a very fun way to add a lot of cool detail to the channel, because neon signs are always cool. So the first thing you actually want to do for neons is to get a text in there. So just add a text. Oh, actually, let me also get the screencast on so that you guys can see what am I pressing. Okay, good. We're here and we're ready. So the text is right here. Press R, X, and 90 to actually be able to look at it. And right now the text just say text. You can change that to whatever you want. I will change that to the name of this channel. Because I mean, why not? Free marketing, right? And this actually looks pretty good already, but I do not like the font. I mean, the font is alright and all that, but we can do much better than that. And the way we can actually do that is go on Google, of course. And you can either go on Google's fonts, and actually you'll find a lot of pretty cool ones. Actually, I like this one, Micro 5. That's actually looking really cool. The retro style of it. You know what? I'm actually gonna get this. I didn't want to get it from here because I have another good one, another good site you guys could use. And actually, let me show you that site as well. Of course, I'm entering Google again. It's 1001 fonts, and this is the site I mostly get my fonts from. I think it's pretty cool. You can actually just write whatever you want, and it will actually show it in each version of the text. And it has a lot of good stuff, and actually you can check for the commercial free ones so that you don't have to pay anything, and it's royalty free. And yeah, you have a lot, like a lot of cool designs here. But again, I'm not going to use this one because I did find a pretty cool one on Google as well. So these are the two main ones I do use. And I can't say they failed me so far. Let me just save fonts in one of these folders here. And you might actually wonder why exactly do we have to download fonts? Because I mean, any program, like, you know, if you use PowerPoint or Word or whatever, they do come with fonts already. Why is Blender different? Well, because Blender, I don't know, for some reason just didn't choose to get fonts. I don't know if there's something, you know, behind the scenes, but it doesn't have, so we have to work without them. So basically what you want to do is go, so select your text, go to the text data. So as you can see, this usually is the object data, not anymore. So actually there's an object tab here, but I'm talking about the object data that you would usually get here, that it's with the vertices and all. Now it's a text data, and actually we can do quite a bit with it. First things first that we want to do is actually change the font with whatever font we chose. You also have some options here, but you have to again enter Blender from the font here, and it's a little bit annoying. But I actually want to get my fonts, and actually let me get into my trusty font folder, and I already, it was Micro something, it wasn't it? Micro 5, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. And well, this does kind of look horrible, doesn't it? I didn't expect it to look like this. Is this better? You know what? I still like it. I know it doesn't look that great, but I like the vibe of it. I love the retro style that this kind of gets, so I'm gonna stick with it. So what you want to do when we do neons, again, we want to actually search for references. So just search neon signs or whatever, and it's not gonna be that hard to actually get some pretty cool references. Usually it's whatever kind of style you want. Now, if you want to get super professional and whatever, you can actually look for, like, you know, something like this, like super professional made, or actually to just go and look for like those neon signs from actual stores in the cities and all that. But I don't think that's necessarily. When I first learned how to do this, I learned this from Blender Guru, of course, and he talks about how to do an actual neon sign like the way it is in real life. I personally think it's fine if you do it however you want. Why is that? Because it's a neon sign. No one really cares how this actually works. We just like the way they look, and the more interesting they look, I don't think anyone minds if it's realistic or not. And you'll understand what I'm saying by realistic once we get there. So first things first, we want for this to not be filled. And the reason is we want tubes. This is not going to give us tubes. It's going to give us a headache. So first, go to fill mode. And instead of both, choose none. And this is basically what we will get, right? And after this, all we got to do is go to geometry. And actually, at the depth where we have been before, if you remember, we will just fill these in. And this is how this would look. So actually, again, the more I look at this, the more I realize I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, I'm sure of it now that this is a bad idea. First of all, it's going to look pretty bad. But goddamn it, I still like it. I got a problem. I know I do. Anyway, let's actually get over that. If I have to change the text, I will, and I just, you know, jump over all the you know, explanation. So we have the text, we have the basically the tubes right now, and that's really most of it. So again, with the tubes, you have to choose for an appropriate you know, dimension, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And after that's done, which I think for me is kind of here, so 0.012 meters, the first thing you want to do is actually duplicate this and toss it aside somewhere. And we will hide it and actually not render it. It's just a duplicate in case stuff doesn't work properly. At least for me, I will definitely need that, but I still want to try it with this one. So what we need to do right now is actually, you would think we would have to get this into a mesh, and you would not necessarily be wrong. However, you're kind of wrong, because instead of mesh, we actually have to convert this into curves. There's kind of a reason we do convert this into curves, because it's way easier to actually use it. And as you can see, this will be super annoying. Like, this will definitely get in my way. Let me actually try to do something. See if this works, if this helps me a little. But these are lower intersected in that. Yeah, so I was right about this. I have to change the text. The text is definitely not helping me in this case. Unfortunately, I need to... Wait, why am I changing the actual text? I need to just change the font. So, you know what? Go back for font 1001. Let's actually take a different one. And actually, you can take a lot of, you know, inspiration kind of from here. And let's make a comic one. What does it give us? That is interesting, I guess. I can't say I'm in love with them necessarily. Yeah, this kind of the retro style. I don't like it. Oh, actually retro. Let's see what it gives us. So no more comic, just retro. I do like this one. Ooh, but this actually, no, yeah, we go for this one. So, yeah. Let's download it. All right, so I'm back and we actually have this text now, right? So I'll do the same thing. I'll actually duplicate it, put it right here, just to make sure I have a backup in case anything happens. And I will convert this to curves. Again, you can actually see the tree here has a small issue. I will hope that once so deleting this actually helped. And you might think, oh, but that's a problem, isn't it? Nah, it's not really. You know, we can actually model this, or I can just change a little bit of design of it. I'm not that keen on keeping that one, but we don't really care. So we need to make these curves. That's the most important thing. And now having the curves, it's actually not that hard to do the actual neon stuff, right? So really a lot of you right now could just do one pretty cool thing and just be done with it. So let's actually just give a material. So this is not the end of it, of course, but neon sign, and instead of a principled BSDF, actually no, let's keep it a principled BSDF. Make it, I don't know, cyan or something. You can choose a color, whatever you want. Actually, no, we don't need this color, sorry. Just a color from the emission. Let's make it cyan. Let's make this, I don't know, 15 or something. And let me actually save this. Neon. Okay. All right. Why am I always misspelling stuff? Okay, and we can actually go to render, and nothing really will seem, you know, that interesting right now. Let's actually have a small plane. Small being kind of a joke here. Okay, something like that. And nothing really happens. And there's a reason, because we are in actual Eevee, and if you do remember, Eevee doesn't have, you know, lighting. It doesn't really do it by default like Cycles does. So actually, to make it, activate Bloom, and look at this. This actually looks pretty cool already, even with Eevee, which is something. Screen reflections also gives us some pretty cool effect. And actually, if we are so daring, we can actually move the Cycles, move this to GPU. And I mean, the quality of Cycles, man, is just out of this world. I just love this. So this is how this thing looks right now. It's not perfect, but it's there. It's something, and I like it. So how can we get from this to actually something we would love to, you know, work with? Well, it's again basically kind of the job done if you really want a very simplistic and simple, let's call it neon sign. But if we're actually to do a little bit of realism, and I do tend to believe that that's still kind of a case. Let me pull some of the things here for neon signs. So actually, let me take neon signs. Let me think. Shops, maybe. Not exactly what I want. Nah, that's actually kind of a little bit of what I want. So what I'm trying to show you is neon signs in real life, and this actually is a much better example, have a beginning and an end. And if you actually see, neon signs are connected through each other actually, also with these tubes that are behind it. And if you think, but those are not lit, it's because what they at least used to do, I don't know if they do it anymore, they painted black. Now I think they might actually just not do that and just put LED coloring, LED light, sorry, LED light, you know, just in one side and not lit it in the back. But before, all of this was a glowing stick basically, and they would just paint the part that was not supposed to glow. So that's basically the same thing we wanted to do. So you have to think about your sign, right? Like, where could you actually connect your sign? So again, here's the difference between my tutorial and Blender Guru's tutorial, which again I think is super cool. But I do want to make this maybe not as realistic. Usually, as you saw in the actual reference, you don't have two borders for the text actually in any of this. It's just a long tube that actually goes around. You don't have what I mean by that is you would only have this side of the text, right? Not this as well. And actually, I am not exactly agreeing to that. The only reason I don't, it's because I think this just looks so cool and I want to keep it that way. So I'm actually going to do a small difference. The difference it will be that first, let me calm down a little. So I will just disconnect this part here, and actually this will be one side that will get electricity, and I will just connect the other letters by themselves. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about when we actually do get there. Okay, so to actually delete these vertices, you don't actually go to a vertex and just press delete vertices, because this will happen. So basically nothing really changes. However, if you press delete and segments, again, nothing seems to change. So something will be wrong. At least it seems like that. Well, not really. So what you want to do is actually select this segment and this segment right here. And actually with these two selected, what you want to do is press X and then segment. And now things are actually all right because we freed these two, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, I did say this tutorial is actually going to be really good for you, and there's a reason for it. Working with curves is actually, in my opinion, really important. And if you've seen my neon image, which I'm gonna pull right here, it's actually using a lot of this, but and that's actually images in 4 days. So because I did it so fast, I had to move extremely fast with this as well. So learning how to work with curves actually helped me a lot, and you'll see that you will meet this kind of curves in a lot of other programs. Blender is not the only one that uses it. And one of the best things, and actually the most important things you gotta learn about curves is you gotta learn how to operate with them with with the smallest possible number of handles, actually. So what I'm saying by that is, for example, this one, you want to get all of them aligned instead of like vector. Like it does seem like, oh, this actually looks, much better and all. And it is looking good. Don't get me wrong. I totally like the look that this gives. However, you have to understand how to actually play around with the curves. And yes, this will definitely change a little bit how this text will look, because it's just not gonna be exactly like this sharp and all that. But at the same time, would you be able to see a neon like this sharp? I kind of doubt it. So we need to actually edit all these to be more or less what we need them to be. So actually, no, that was good there. Should have left it. Let's see. I am going to actually take this, and I am going to try to straighten this as much as possible. And I'm actually going to subdivide this, add one more handle, and actually it's gonna be to recreate as much as I can those sharper corners. Of course, it's not gonna be as it was before, but the more I can get it to look the way that was, the better. So let me actually do it something like this. Let's see. So this doesn't look bad. That's actually pretty good. This has to be like this. Again, I have to make sure it's not super sharp because it wouldn't make sense. But also, I don't want it to be, that bad. This one, maybe something like this would work. And let's say maybe like this. And yeah, this really is one of the annoying parts. So it's good, you will learn how to use curves, but there's one small problem with it, which is, well, manual work. You will have to do a lot of it. So, you know, that's not exactly the most fascinating part about Blender or any 3D program at that. No, actually, let me leave it like this. I'm trying to figure out how this would fit better. And also, I would love if I wouldn't change this much of how the actual style of it was. I know this will change a little bit of the style, unfortunately. I don't think that's something we can really fix, but it's definitely something that I did appreciate in the first place. And one of the things I can do is actually try to keep this as linear as I can, because as you can see, this was absolutely linear. And let me make it something like this, maybe. Maybe even exaggerate some of the corners, you know, maybe even something like this. Yeah, so yeah, it's also a lot about like how you will interpret this. How will you want your sign to look like? Because that's a lot of the question as well, right? Like, a lot of people do use these kind of signs to actually create their own I don't know, like their own brand. That's usually one of the first brand stuff they do is, well, you know, actually just make a neon sign, because it's pretty easy to make it look cool. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Like, making a neon sign like this actually look cool, it's one of the easier things to do, because neon lights in general already give that you know, cool vibe. So basically you cannot really go wrong with it, but you do have to take in consideration a little bit what you want to do. So there is also that. So let me actually try to do this. See, one of those things I was telling you, trying to use a smaller number of handles to basically kind of get to the same results. It might actually not be too good here. I'm trying to kind of simulate this exact thing here, but actually don't think this will let me. At least not without sacrificing other stuff, which I don't really want to. So this looks good, that looks good. I can take this one and actually make it aligned. And is there like a rule of just working with aligned handles? No. If you don't want to work with this, it's absolutely fine. I think it's more than okay, and you can actually go, you know, try some other stuff, because who knows, maybe you actually will find a better way. I do think a lot of the fun that comes with tools like Blender or, you know, any other 3D software really is that amount of trial and error and actually finding something that works and gives you, you know, that funky results sometimes, because those funky results are actually sometimes better than the good results. You know what I mean? Let me actually take this just a little bit back. And yeah, this doesn't look bad. I'm going to push this a little like this. This will get down. And this I will also need to get down quite a bit. Alright, this looks much better already. No, I don't like this part here. It's not looking like it's that great. Alright, so these two, SX and 0. And apparently it's not helping me out. Okay. You know what, then stay like that. I don't even need you. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe I will move this just a little bit. Yeah, and I think this looks good. Good. Now this, actually, I'm going to first take this and get it all the way up there. Get this aligned. And actually, I'll also get this aligned here. And make sure I delete this segment here because we do not need this one. Because we will actually need to, well, you will actually see it a little later on, but we will actually need these two to be connected. And actually that will get me the chance to show you how to connect these tubes. It's actually not anything that hard. It's actually super simple. Alright, so let me actually get this, something like this, maybe. This doesn't look alright because this is not parallel almost at all with its okay, much better. Okay. This also has to move a little bit like this, which means this also moves a little bit like this. So it's a little more parallel to this one. So how do we actually connect tubes? Because that's actually the next important step. It's actually, you just press E and then Y and nothing really will happen because you cannot really move it. So press E, X, it will move. Y, it will not move. Z, it will just move on the Z axis. And why really is that? Well, if you go to curves, you will actually see your shape is 2D. And that means you cannot actually move on the depth, right? So you only have the vertical, the vertical and the horizontal axes. So because of that, we actually need to change this to 3D. And what happens with 3D is you actually are able to move this on the Y. So by being able to do this, let's actually get G and Y and move it all the way back. Get this actually down. Let me see. Z0 to actually get this whole thing to the whole level. And right now, what you need to do is, well, two things really. Let me actually get back to our references. So going back to the references, I actually need let's see. I'm trying to see if I actually can find a good reference on how these are connected. Tubes connected. I don't think this works the way I hope it works, but no, actually it almost kind of does. So here you can actually see the way this actually connects, right? These tubes are basically on the same line. They just go a little bit behind and actually connect with each other, which is genuinely what we want to happen here, basically, right? So what we do want is actually for this to connect. And you have to think about it this way, because we have two, basically two sides of the same letter each time. You kind of will have to be able to, besides connecting this letter to this letter, you will need to know how to connect the two sides that remain from the same letter between each other, so that it actually doesn't really look weird. At least that is something I am always thinking of when I do stuff like this. For example, for this M and A, for example, we will have one of the unconnected pieces here. But I think the A is actually better if we disconnect from up here. So actually we can pull this all the way behind here. Then for the A and Y, we can actually just let me think. We could disconnect that, but then that would actually create a problem, wouldn't it? So actually, I will disconnect A from this one and connect M and A like this, and then A and Y behind. So actually this will hide our tube. I think that will actually work better, because if I do it here, I will have to either actually cross A like this, or if I wouldn't do that, I would actually just have to, oh no, I can actually do it, and I will just disconnect Y from here. Yeah, no, that works. That works for me. I think it's yeah, no, I think it's a pretty solid pretty solid plan. What do you think? Do you think it's good? I think it's fine. I think it's more than enough. Okay, so we do this. We will put this back to where we had it. Let me look at it. This is good. Yeah, I think it looks pretty okay. All right, and with this part here, actually, you can see we do have a small problem. And the small problem is actually because of this one, of this tube here, because it doesn't basically have, let's say, enough geometry, even though right now we're not really working with geometry, but you kind of know what I'm saying. Right, so it's basically the same way we would work with a mesh. It doesn't have enough geometry to actually, create that smooth passing between one side to the other, and because of it, we actually have those artifacts. And now we don't have these artifacts anymore. And the way we connect this, so let's actually take this and actually pull this back as well. Take this whole thing as Z0, which would actually pull them very weirdly, apparently. Oh yeah, because one got all the way up here. Okay, and let us see it from the front as well. Okay, so we can actually see that this has a pretty weird shape. We can actually just bring this one a little bit more in. Um, we can have this like that. GNX to move it a little bit. And now this is perfectly exactly what we need to have. And the reason is, let me actually just pull this more or less to this level, to this what we will have as the base. And actually this might be needed to be pulled a little bit. Something like that. And actually to connect these two, you have to take this side. Let me GNY this just a little bit. This side with this side, and you have to do some really hard thinking and press F. That's it. That's literally it. You have your first neon sign letter. And actually you can see that there's a small problem. The small problem is the fact that we actually have this and that on different Z positions, let's call them. And actually SZ0 it will fix our problem. And this actually looks pretty good. Again, don't forget this will actually have to be kind of the same in a way. This will have to be our connector to the electrical side, I would say. It really depends. One side has to be the electrical part, the other has just to be the unconnected part, I would say. Let me actually get this up. Something like that. Okay. Actually, yeah. Let's look. So, you can connect actually both tubes from both of them to be connected to electricity, which is probably what I will do because it's gonna be a little more logical and probably also a little bit easier. But you can also have examples of neon signs that actually get connected. Actually, I think here we have one of those, but we can barely see. Yeah, so here's what I was talking about earlier with the black painted backs of this. And yeah, I can actually see one that is connected from only one side. Actually, this one. Oh yeah, here. It's connected only from this one. From here is the only electricity head. The other is just basically what it also helps is one border letter, border text actually. But basically it's just finding its way to connect itself up here again. So basically it doesn't have to, stay with unconnected heads, basically. So having this, what we will actually do is I will do all this part by spinning it up because really there's not much more I can show you on this one. It's a lot like just this. You just redo the same process over and over again. And if you don't understand how, just look at how I did it in slow motion maybe. But yeah. I will see you when I actually finish this. Alright guys, so actually I'm gonna end the video right there. So I just wanted to quickly show you, because it actually took me quite kind of, I think, an hour to do, you know, the whole process, because I just actually, well, I had to do some other things as well. And to do this whole curve stuff, it actually took me quite some time. So I will speed up, but just a part of it. And basically, this is where we will leave it. So we will get to do the I and the D together. So basically, I will show you the process again for these two last letters, and also show you the end product. But basically, let me actually see if I can. I don't think. Oh yeah. So here's basically how this will look. You know, more or less. You saw how 3 and the Y are connected. But basically, yeah, these are the this is the overall look, and the look you have to kind of go for. But yeah, so the last two letters we will do together. Yeah, this was kind of a lot of explanation, but I think it's important explanation for later on, so that you can understand how to work with curves, first of all. Also, I think it was a really good experience to know that you cannot choose whatever kind of font you want. You need to choose, let me actually move myself a little bit. Yeah, that's better. You have to actually choose smart smart fonts, because otherwise you can end up with the same problem I had, of actually not being able to work with it. And third of all, and maybe the most important, always duplicate your text before you actually convert them, because if you do convert them, there's no way to go back. I mean, there is the undo option, but really even that, you probably will forget about it at some point, and if any mistakes will occur, you have to start it all over again, and you don't really want to do that. So just have a duplicate around there just to make sure. And also, in the next part, we will actually, again, I think I didn't mention it already, but we will concentrate on geometry nodes. Once again, we will create something that's actually pretty cool. And also I will show you how to put decals, and also how we can kind of imitate the water droplets effect on kind of any surface. So that's also pretty cool. So with this all being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. And yeah, thank you so much for being here in general. I do wait to see you in part 2 of this little tutorial. I don't know which part of it is little at this point, but you know, whatever, I'm just gonna call it that. And yeah, please just subscribe if you're not subscribed, give a like, and most of all, please have a great day. Bye guys. I think I broke something.